stiffed by these young kids. Juan, if you're watching, I'll have you know, Clayton is shaking his head in...
I'm 35 years old and I'm still young.
But yeah, so I think like that is such a huge strength of this team. We talked about it even earlier in this game one with their comms, how they're very easily willing to kind of shake off mistakes, play very loosely, and well coordinated. And even when listening back to some of their teamfight comms during the break, they were very clear in terms of what their objectives were in fights. So it's not like a chaos you might expect from seeing them play Arena, for example.
And we saw Gryffin get to put his, favorite champion here of Ambessa on display again. It's pretty funny. A lot of people, if you don't play Ambessa, you kind of hate this champion. And everyone was really happy when it got nerfed and the ultimate time was increased. But then that was only lasted like one patch. And then Ambessa got some compensation buffs as well, right back on top. And so all the Ambessa players are like, great. We'll get right back on it. They were definitely more top focused, but we get a first pick Anivia once again, and LYON that very well could go into Dhokla's hands again. However, it's a flex champion, and Anivia got small nerfs, speaking of the patch, which were directly to armor. So if you did end up flexing it into another lane, into, like an AP lane or something like that, then it wouldn't be necessarily as big of nerfs, but some slight nerfs to the tankiness since the last time that we saw Big Dokes on the tanky bird.
Yeah, and he did, like you said, Kobe, do really well in that series, kind of using that egg to frontline for his team. But it could be going to Saint. It also could be going to Isles if they want to go in that direction and kind of keep FlyQuest guessing.
So FlyQuest have banned out the Karma and the Seraphine. Karma, the general powerful enchanter. Seraphine, the buddy for Ashe. And then they drafted the Nami without an AD carry, picking their jungler instead, prioritizing the Jarvan. I really like this strategy because you're saying we're going to pick the best enchanter that's left because we got rid of the other two.
And a lot of the pairings are determined by the enchanters. We expect the Corki to follow it up here with the Nami. But now you get to see, it's into the Neeko and Caitlyn. And that is a very long range and poke heavy team. So
it's so oppressive in lane too, right?
Yep.
Like the Neeko bindings combined with the Caitlyn traps, combined with Caitlyn's range. It's just really, really obnoxious to deal with. So we'll see what FlyQuest decide. And actually, they're going to go towards their mid lane pick with the Viktor for quad instead. Kind of an interesting choice here.
I don't like it.
Now, you're making a face.
Yeah, I don't like it. I feel like if you're going to pick Viktor, you need to pick him later on when it feels like he fits into the entire composition, because if he doesn't work, I feel like he really doesn't work. There's a reason Caitlyn and Jinx and Vi are the main characters of Arcane, and this guy's also kind of there. Like, I don't know, man.
Viktor's my favorite character.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Well, he does like the new, Deathfire touch, and Quad definitely is a specialist on Viktor and these AP carry mages. So, and they also were able to get the Jarvan on their side. So not going to have, that annoying presence from the jungle trying to put the extra pressure on you and blow your flash. But, yeah, we expect like the Ezreals and the Corkis here to be the target, since you're dropping your AD carry pick. And FlyQuest are saying, Nami is a universal. Okay, so actually, since they do have the range of the Caitlyn here, seems like they're not too worried about the Corki itself and just the Ezreal poke angle.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ezreal's such a part of some of these pushing lanes, most commonly with the Karma, which we already kind of cited, is banned out. And the old standby of Corki Nami is locked in after all that. It's Corki coming out for Massu.
All right. FlyQuest has literally 0 potential flex pick in their draft. Everything is hard-coded into its specific lane. So how does LYON want to navigate this here with their mid lane pick? Yone locked in for Saint.
If they do lock in the Yone, that does open up potential for an AP jungle pick coming out of Inspired.
Okay.
The Sejuani is the one that we kind of see him default to more often than not. And
let's go!
Wow, there we
Emily
go.
the Psychic. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Inspired have such really great games on this. There's also just so much follow-up and potential first CC for the Sedge to follow up on. So a lot of angles for Inspired to take. He's going to kind of have his choice of who he wants to link up with to chain CC.
Yep, and you get to put a lot of pressure on a low mobility mid lane champion like Viktor. With the Yone stacking up Sejuani passive so quickly, you can oftentimes look for a lot of angles. Plus, you have a support Neeko to look for roams towards mid. So lots of angles for LYON to try and gank with either jungle or support towards mid lane. Try and get quads flash and get some kills and money for the Yone for Saint.
How do we feel about K'Sante versus Anivia? What's the read here?
It's kind of like, okay, you picked Anivia. Like, there's not a lot of stuff that really has good lanes into it. So I will play for my team. I'll just be a K'Sante over here. That's kind of the answer. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be useful for my team.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this: LYON's comp is really obnoxious to have to go up against. Right? Like, this is a very annoying team composition just with the potential CC chains you can have with Anivia, Neeko, Sejuani, Caitlyn traps on top of that, setting up for the Yone making space in these fights. So we'll see how LYON pilot it. Like I said, I really love Inspired Sejuani. I think people call him out for kind of these more farming, like, jungle picks. I think he's had some of his best international, like, individual performances on the Sejuani as well. So yeah, I just think this is a really comfortable team comp for LYON.
Yeah, and the performance of the bottom lane is going to determine a lot of this, because it will make the game so much easier for LYON if their bottom lane gets lots of push and can do Caitlyn, Neeko things, get up to the tower, poke them at it, get tower plate money. Then you also buy time for the Neeko to roam mid to that Yone that we're trying to set up, and especially around the level 6 timer when you can make these all-ins onto the Viktor. So if bot lane gets priority and Neeko gets roam timers, then it really starts to put a lot of pressure on the other lanes here for FlyQuest. So we'll see how Massu and Cryogen with their Corki Nami down here, if they can find some good angles for themselves.
And you can see top 3 game records, Dhokla, the top record holder over C9 and LYON individually, 11-3 for Big Dokes. Almost a 79% win rate here for him.
Yep, he's the best team in the LCS. Why
he's the best team.
Yep.
All 5 of them.
They subbed him out. His game percentage win rate looking good, though.
And I am wondering, because Gryffin is on this J4 pick, if he might potentially look for something on the bot side now that he's on Krugs instead of pathing straight bot to top. We'll see, just because, LYON would be aware of this. They do have that ward in the bot side try that, he's going to avoid it.
Okay, Gryffin goes with the EQ into the Dragon Pit, so he's got to wait on the cooldown, but he is taking the long con here.
Yeah, cracking the bottom lane. This bottom lane we said was so important. Gryffin, he stuck around.
Okay, the tower sees him. Gryffin goes in. Berserker getting away for now, staying alive. Honestly, Berserker spending no summoner spells here feels good about that.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have to expend much, and I do still like the thought from Gryffin, right? Because if he can potentially get something onto this bot lane, we talked about how important it is, and now Isles and Berserker are probably going to be able to shove that lane in a bit and take control over the wave.
The big thing and the cost for doing these types of plays and why they are, more unexpected. Yeah, not only it's Jarvan, obviously you can get around the vision, but it desyncs the respawn timers of your small camps, which is pretty annoying for junglers, because he just did, bottom quadrant and now goes for the reset into top quadrant. Meanwhile, Inspired has a very clean respawn timer for all his camps. He just did a full clear down to bottom side, and then he ends up bottom 2. So now he's the one applying bottom pressure.
Yup, and he shows up, and it does not even matter that they see him there because the rest of LYON is ready to go. It's first blood already over to Berserker. They just walk it in and mow him down.
Yeah, that's why it's so risky, even though you feel pressured to do kind of funny stuff versus Caitlyn lanes, because otherwise the Caitlyn siege just starts to take its toll on your bottom lane. But if you miss on that play, then the ramifications are so detrimental to you, because now Inspired, not only did they end up getting the really easy tower dive for their bottom lane, first blood to the Caitlyn, but he, like we said, has a really easy clear for top down that's smooth again for the respawn timers of his camps, and can get right back into it. So first blood to Berserker's Caitlyn is exactly what the doctor ordered here for LYON.
And LYON's off to a good start, and we heard that they were still reviewing Game 1's loss in Champ Select for Game 2. Take a listen.
Yo, Stain, do you know that helmet is a scaling item and not item for lane? Why did you sell it?
I couldn't buy the one item.
Yeah, but it's better to like
You sit on the
not
component,
sell it,
don't
sit on the
sell it.
components. That item is legit OP.
Yeah.
Like later, not early game.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that.
You are just fucking stupid.
Good data, bro.
Like, what?
Okay. Sane, did you not see the Chovy lane? We watched it together, bro. How are you getting...
Because I am fucking Heyman.
Oh, you idiot. You're not using E well. I watched your lane.
Unlucky.
Okay, fine.
Unlucky.
I feel like they're doing
Unlucky.
this up. They have to be doing
have
this
some
on
good plays,
purpose.
though,
They have
Saint.
to be doing this on purpose. Oh!
Oh, meanwhile, bottom side, Massu grabbing the kill here. Gryffin shows up in the bottom lane and equalizes things as FlyQuest make their way onto the board, ties it up in kills 1-1.
The bot lane war zone, Flowers. They know so much is dependent on this. And that is going to be a clap back immediately, like the look. Again, keeping up on that focus.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see both junglers kind of recognizing exactly where they want to go. Nice little lane gank from Gryffin off of him finishing off his Krugs. I definitely don't think that either Berserker or Isles were expecting it. So as soon as Isles had stepped forward, Gryffin was right there, and Massu picks up the kill, more importantly. So, however, now LYON immediately rotate to take this first Drake. They're not going to fall into the same position that they were in Game 1, where FlyQuest had such strong Drake control that really forced LYON into responding. It's always interesting, Kobe, to see when LYON try to make these decisions, because they are kind of the LCS team that we've known to give objectives over the most in favor of fighting later.
Yeah, fully depends on their team comp, and Inspired is always looking for their item power spikes and their team comp power spikes. And this one with the Caitlyn Neeko, and on the reset there after the bot side play. Good timing window to go get it, and it's important when you have a Caitlyn lane. And hold on.
Oof.
Okay,
Here's Inspired.
We're not done yet. Inspired, wrapping around here, goes for the Glacial Prison, does not find it because Massu flashes away. However, Cryogen is just fish in a barrel. LYON shoots him down, and that means Berserker gets the kill credit.
the ganks will continue bottom lane over and over.
Until morale improves.
But
It's pretty good, though.
I was gonna say, it sounds like morale's pretty good.
Yeah,
on both
morale's
teams.
all right.
It's swinging back and forth from each side depending on the timing of the gank.
Okay.
But again, back to the composition here for LYON when you want to be able to sack these early dragons, because Anivia and Caitlyn are so good. When you get priority early to the objective, you can set up your traps, and then you also have the Anivia wall plus ultimate to control all these approach angles to the objectives, through the jungle, these ramps. And so you do really well in like sieges and standoffs around terrain that is going to help you corral the enemy. And so this bot lane focus really has been everything. Now we're going to start to see some options though, because you've got Yone ultimate available too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can maybe look for some Neeko roam timers, maybe as Isles gets level 6, to try and play off of a Saint ulti angle here towards quad. Currently, though, still getting pushed in by the Viktor, and does get the Viktor ultimate down.
Exactly, the Arcane Storm used to fight back against Saint and also push the wave at the same time, maintain priority over the mid lane. It's the solo lanes for FlyQuest that have the advantage right now, while bottom lane and jungle have a gold advantage for LYON with a total of about, not even 500 gold overall. So a very close early game as Gryffin is taking the Void Grubs, considering LYON got the Dragon, first of all, for themselves. That means neutrals are going to remain just about even. Even though Void Grubs, Kobe, I know you're on my team with this, they kind of suck.
They do. They got nerfed into the ground. There
Poor
it is!
little ugly grubbies. As Saint goes in after quad yet again, finds the Q3 and immediately snaps back.
So they're looking, for that the ult timer here to try and pressure Quad, but Quad does not flinch. He doesn't even flash. He just walks to the side. Clean moves here, and that's his confidence, and that's why they early picked the Viktor.
Flowers, what happened? It's now Griffizard. He evolved.
Yeah,
that was the
Griffizard
previous game.
evolved. That's a powerful Gryffin right there. 10, 3, and 8 in the previous game. That's an Insmeleon. He's not powerful enough. He devolved. He's got red HP.
If Ambessa was a Pokemon, what would the Ambessa Pokemon name be?
Ambessameleon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's Gryffin right there.
Yeah, Ambessa smurfing it up. Gryffin having a great time so far. Now he's on the Jarvan. He's a Jarvazard. And now he has to breathe fire upon all of LYON and make this a 2-0.
But guess who's back bot lane? It's Inspired.
Okay.
Just going to clear out a bit of vision, I think, because he realized they saw him on vision. But that does mean, again, that Cryogen and Massu have to back off, and Berserker and Isles are really taking control of this bot side push.
And since Inspired is on a tank jungler, he gets to buy thrift store items. He has the Protoplasm Harness.
True.
He's got that cheap first item. You can look at Griffin's inventory. He's still got components. So that means if they have a fight, if there's a reason to fight, which, I don't know, maybe 55 seconds from now, there might be a neutral objective or something spawning, he's going to be significantly more powerful.
Yeah, it feels so nice when tank jugglers can use these support items. Mid lane here, Quad keeping up the poke, and speaking of item completions with his Ludens, really, really good poke damage here. That plus the Deathfire touch, just keeping Saint under tower, trying to deny him some minions. Dhokla.
Oh, Dhokla missed the Q. This is a problem. Gakgos trying to find it, but since Inspired shows up, that saves Dhokla's bacon.
Yep.
No
Gakgos
breakfast
still-
today for Gakgos.
Yeah, still posturing really aggressively forward.
Yeah, I honestly love this from Gakgos. Even though he knows Inspired is there, he's like, I'm still going to punch your top laner in the mouth. You're just going to have to watch.
He takes a couple tower shots to stop the recall here as well for the timing. It's interesting, too, because we're talking about item completions, and you're like, oh, man, the whole Rod of Ages is done for Dhokla. But look at the magic resist stacking that Gakgos has got him to this confidence level. He finished the Merc Shreds early, and having the cloak as well here, the extra regeneration just goes really hard on top of all the magic resist. So he's happy just tanking all this damage over and over and over, getting a lot of sustain and some extra survivability as we now see a little jungle ring around the rosy going here with the vision set up for that
each
dragon.
other's vision.
I
set
feel
up
like
for
if
the Drake.
Gakgos would have hit Dhokla with that Q3, he would have at least scrambled his egg. You know what I mean? Like, that would not have been a good time for the Anivia up there in the top side. However, you can see the quest complete now for FlyQuest up there in the top side. It's solo lane quest done for FlyQuest. Only the 80 carry quest completed here for LYON. No teleport available for Gakgos. However, Dhokla does have his TP around, so that means LYON feels more comfortable going after this dragon. And it looks like Inspire will take it.
Cryogen was on a reset there, so Nami's coming from base a little bit far, but they're not bursting the dragon down. They don't have huge damage on it, so Cryogen has walked his way here. Now Corki is on bottom, flanking the other side, though, so they just... The timing's not quite out there with the desync on bottom lane. Cryogen went back to base. Berserker, or Massu, excuse me, here, still trying to deal with the mini wave, and so they can't quite really contest, even though people kind of walk over. And so the dragon stacking does continue here for LYON quite nicely, setting themselves up for those later seasons.
Ooh, Saint going in there. trying to find the engage with the ulti onto quad, but the flash keeps Viktor safe.
Yeah, and I think if he had been able to find it, Dhokla is here, right? Like both top laners had kind of returned to potentially, you know, Dhokla would have been able to get in there for a potential Drake fight, but when that didn't happen, Gakgos heads back topside. Isles is here as a minion.
As a minion.
Hey, buddy. Gakgos is mega pure magic resist, so a support that does more magic damage isn't going to worry him. If he fought a Blade of the Ruined King Yone, then maybe he's going to start taking. He would take some damage, but he's not going to take a lot of magic damage here with the extra cloak on top of the Spectre's Cow, on top of the Merc Treads.
I feel like you could have Neeko and Anivia both puke their entire kits onto Cassante at this point, and he would have a third of his HP left and walk away probably with an emote. So Gakgos not really worried about that one. Meanwhile, down here in the bottom lane, mid laners have taken up this area of the Rift. Inspired is hanging around, though. Does he really want to go for the lane gank here? Looks like he does. We'll see how long he wants to wait for that opportunity as Massu and Cryogen make their way up to the top side of the map. Berserker gets that wave shoved up. We have 50 seconds until the Rift Herald spawns, so it looks like both teams are sort of playing around that positioning, that vision control right now.
Yeah, and we've seen Dhokla kind of hovering between a few lanes now and not picking up farm. Looks like he'll be finally headed towards this top side, although 3 members of FlyQuest are already here.
Good push out on the wave from Dokes. Regardless, honestly, I like the lane assignments here, even though we're hyping up, oh yeah, so much magic resist on Gakgos, and Caitlyn here, headshots are going to hurt a little bit. It's not truly that much. Bottom lane, the rotation all the way down from Inspired, but the comms are here for FlyQuest. Talking about, hey, you are weak side, and we've got the trailing here from Gryffin and Cryogen in time to counter.
Yeah, Gryffin goes all the way in after Isles, dumps the Cataclysm, and forces the flash out of the Lion support.
Yeah, that was a really nice response from FlyQuest, recognizing where they kind of had to match with Cryogen and Gryffin kind of in position to protect their Viktor.
Yeah, they got the topside Scuttle Crab. They don't want to like waste extra time going for Rift Herald. Instead, go for the reset, trail out through bottom lane, make the coverage play. The tower barely still standing for them on the bottom side, but not going to be the biggest of deal. And now they can just reset over to that Rift Herald, turn everything right back to the top side of the map.
Yep, and now they have better like protection, right? Because Cassante is going to be pushing in that topside wave, and Massu and Cryogen had already pushed out mid, and we'll see if Inspired and the rest of LYON want to challenge. TP coming in from Viktor.
They absolutely are interested in this Rift Herald, but FlyQuest already have it down to 1,000 HP, and even though LYON decided to show up, they're showing up too late.
Yeah, they're showing up too late, and it was a nice TP from Quad, right? Because he's immediately on to Berserker. Getting out that laser to do some damage means that LYON can't really contest to that. And again, I like these kind of map movements that FlyQuest are making, continuing from some of these little tricks and lane assignments they did in Game 1.
Yeah, it does mean, yeah, you're going to sacrifice the end of the tower that's on bottom side, but again, the last bits of a tower aren't really what they used to be, since you get a lot of the gold progressively off
Plates are plates.
Yeah, and Dhokla, obviously, you know, he just was the one to walk down bottom side to do that, so he's collecting the bot side outer tower and some plates off the secondary one, as well as saving his teleport.
Oh, Saint with the solo kill on the quad up here on the top side, but now Griffin's trying to get one back. Saint getting away for now. Isles creating space, and that allows Saint to get away. Nice outplay from LYON.
Yeah, outplay from Saint there in the 1v1. Isles there to protect his mid laner, kind of escort him out to keep Gryffin from getting any sort of counter kill. And LYON pushing in on the mid wave a bit, kind of forcing Massu and Cryogen to respond.
Yeah, Saint was the one to burn Quad's flash earlier with that other ultimate that he used, so makes the big punish himself to do it. Gets the kill. Teleport now invested as well. Inspired starting it up.
Okay, remember, if LYON claim this, they're on Soul Point. Big dragon for them. However, FlyQuest have control over the bot side river for now. LYON's giving it up. They're saying we don't want to fight for this. FlyQuest going to take Drake.
Yeah, the early call there. They want to get the reset off first. So Dhokla goes back, immediately inspired, jumps off the dragon, and they call it off. Not good conditions.
Yeah, and that kind of makes sense. They do have this kind of pushing bot wave that now FlyQuest have to respond to. They'd pushed in mid to try to get a little bit of damage on mid tier turret as well. And so now they'll be able to move in towards this top side of the map and potentially kind of set up for Saint to make a play on this tier 1 turret.
And their Caitlyn just had money for IE, so Berserker was probably like, yeah, let me go ahead and spend this real. I got a big old IE power spike right here. Now 2 items with the Hex Optics as well, so they call it off. Berserker just finishes the mid wave there, goes back, finishes IE, and next time a LYON are going to fight it.
Yep. And Rift Herald summoned up in the mid lane.
Kerblam.
Massu should be able to clean this up.
Easy peasy. Gryffin jumps in. EQ combo. Not going to find a target there, but they already got the tier 1, and that's what they came for. Meanwhile, topside, Saint tries to get away here with the Fate Sealed. Gakgos going in, flashes forward, wants the solo kill, but the third in Tofo strike does not connect. Gakgos going to miss out on that one.
Yeah, just barely misses on that, but here's Gryffin.
Yeah, Gryffin jumps in. Cataclysm immediately flashes on the other side of his own terrain, and the shutdown goes over to Cryogen. Meanwhile, Dhokla just takes him out. That fish got caught 1 for 1 here in the top side.
Yeah, they teleport in the Anivia, and then they wall him off, so they still get a counter kill here.
Yeah, really nice coordination from Dhokla and the rest of his team on this Anivia, and now Berserker is just right back in mid lane.
Dhokla, you all right, bud? Gakgos going in, finds first in Tofo strike. Staying diligent for now, but nope, no way to chase further. FlyQuest can't find anything.
Yeah, he did have Isles there as well, who was kind of fainting up, and the Caitlyn, who had started to move. So LYON did have members in position to respond to that. Instead, it's going to be Berserker continuing to try to hammer up. TP coming in from behind.
Yeah, but that takes a long time to channel, and Berserker and Isles getting away for now. Gakgos trying to use his opportunity here with the teleport to make a play, but it was just too little, too late.
He does get the Caitlyn flash, though, which could be crucial for the next team fight and something that FlyQuest are definitely going to be tracking. But yeah, that was a nice, I mean, I actually really like going for that TP play, but as we see here is the attempted play onto Saint with Gakgos missing on that final in Tofo strike. Then Bubble missing Gryffin, Gryffin going in with the EQ combo and ult. Saint getting shut down accidentally by the Nami, but then that wall is so nice to set up for Caitlyn, ult, and Dhokla picking up the kill.
And now Saint about to knock down this tier 1 turret. Gakgos having to back away. Inspired, Dhokla and Saint coming in trying to make a move, but making moves on Cassante is pretty tough to do. So LYON's going to back up after taking the objective.
Meanwhile, they are split pushing on the bottom side here, so Viktor does get the wave into the bottom tower, and now they're trying to walk up. They do get pinged out going over wards though, so Berserker's not going to get caught again this time in the extended lane. Him having no flash now, Dhokla having no flash, and Saint having no flash after all these plays. All these carries on the side of LYON are possible targets here for FlyQuest, and they're making the rotations up to the top side.
Yep, looking for a play onto Dhokla.
Dhokla trying to make his recall. Gryffin immediately with the smite to interrupt it, drops the Cataclysm. Aqua Prison misses. Gryffin still in the middle of the Glacial Storm, but it does not matter. Dhokla's egg is scrambled. Call it sunny side up. It don't matter. Shutdown credit goes over to Gakgos.
Look at the 3 lanes of pressure though for LYON. You know, they all these carries, yeah, they don't have flashes, but they're all pushing. So even when FlyQuest, they're gonna do a Baron off of it.
I think we can try Yone not to pick.
Okay, FlyQuest calling for it. They want the Baron. They're down about 3,000 gold. This would be a massive swing, and they got a 5v4 for the next 25 seconds. Meanwhile, Saint in the bottom lane, putting pressure onto the tier 3 turret. That means that FlyQuest have to take this Baron for this to be worthwhile. Bottom lane tier 3 turret already down to half HP. Baron about to be claimed. FlyQuest have it.
Yep. And you heard them recognizing that in their comps, right? They're like, you know what? Yone doesn't have TP. He can't respond to us. He's on the bot side. Was able to almost take down that inhibitor turret on the bot side of the map. And Caitlyn did end up cleaning up that tier 2 mid turret, as well as LYON is now actually going to be on Soul Point after up. Unless FlyQuest want to contest, but no. Yeah, so they're now going to be on Soul Point. So it's a bold call of FlyQuest to go for that Baron. However, it feels like LYON got way more on the map, Kobe.
Yeah, and even the call to go send multiple people up to kill the Anivia, because LYON, as we said, are pushing all 3 lanes, the cost for a commitment like that is very big. And being able to push down mid, like I want to start the gold tracker before Baron instead of a Baron power play gold tracker.
You want to do the whole sequence?
I want to wind it back to when they decide to send everybody up to the top side. But we're going to see the siege now as they do have the Baron. See how much gold they can also get with this buff. Even though they did have to make payments to Caitlyn and to Yone pushing through mid and bottom lane, they're kind of getting compensation for those payments now.
Like investment tips with Kobe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile, more split push here. So every time, like LYON are pushing on the other side. Yone pushed up on the top side. Now they're trying to trap him even. You have Gryffin. Look at the mini map. He's already behind him. Saint's trying to wander his way out through the darkness.
Yeah, he's getting away for now, but hold on, Quad's gonna be found! Nice pick from LYON.
Who's ganking who here? Saint moves through the jungle in the cover of darkness, and they catch the straggler. As FlyQuest are trying to collapse, they are the ones that leave the vulnerable Viktor there.
And I would be curious to actually see if we'd started pre-Baron power play, because now you see it's diminishing rapidly in that top left corner. But yeah, like again, this is also facilitated by the fact that LYON actually have quite good wave clear with the Anivia to kind of stymie and slow down a lot of potential siege from FlyQuest. And that was a really, really nice catch onto Quad as he walked over Vision. And as we see Gryffin clearing out his bot side and Cassante kind of trying to push up this bot wave, LYON immediately moving into the top side as their response.
Yeah, so LYON, because they got that dragon and all of the extra gold here, looking ahead at their Dragon Soul setup, only 2.5 minutes ish for themselves, and you have tons of pick. And again, if the Caitlyn lane can get there early, you have a lot of danger for FlyQuest approach. Caitlyn traps.
Stepping on those traps does not feel good.
And then Caitlyn and Anivia as a combo just makes it so difficult to approach fights.
It's really annoying.
All right, LYON, 2.5 minutes until Dragon, a little bit under 3 minutes until Baron, setting up shop around the topside river for now. Gakgos just clearing a path through it there with the Cassante, knowing that he's the one who has to get rid of this terrain ownership from LYON.
Yeah, the path maker. Perfect.
It lives up to the name.
Perfect ability name right there, right through the Caitlyn traps. They force their way in. They do get the end of the secondary tower here, but of course we are all really looking at the setup for the Dragon Soul fight, especially when you know the Neeko surprise and the Sejuani engage are terrifying.
Yeah, and thanks to our stats guy, Liam, we actually had the gold difference at 22 for LYON was 1.9k. Post Baron buff, LYON was a plus 2.9k, so they did get a cool 1k off of that investment you pointed out, Kobe.
But hold on, Gakgos coming in here with a TP, going after Saint. LYON got to outplay this. Fate sealed from Saint, trying to get himself away, but now he's stunned up, locked up, beat down. Gakgos grab the kill as FlyQuest continue looking for more. Gryffin drops the Cataclysm, but nobody on LYON's going to be caught here just yet until Gakgos goes in even further. Third and Topo strike. They've already found the shutdown on the Berserker, and FlyQuest find their moment.
The Nami wave following the Cassante in for that huge knockback coming out of Gakgos. We talked about how he has to be the front line for FlyQuest to get anything done. He's the one stepping on the Caitlyn traps. He's the one here going forward, getting down that CC with the Nami wave kind of trailing behind him. Really nice fight from FlyQuest.
Yeah, man, I mean, we talked a long time about Gakgos on tanks versus Gakgos on carries. I guess
both?
You could
Cassante
split
is
hairs.
a tank and a carry.
Yeah, you could split hairs, and you could say Cassante is also a carry just because, you know, meme on the champion. But his picture, we had his picture up there with the tanks, and he is smurfing. He is making Cassante look about as broken as ever. FlyQuest, what a really good trap play on the side. Really good attack in the side lane there. Big benefits, and now it sets them up for great positioning on the approach to Dragon Soul.
Exactly. That's the thing, is the Dragon Soul is only just now spawning. It was desynced from when they made the play, so they got to make another one now. But the problem is, Massu's already down. It doesn't matter what you get, it matters when you get it. And now Gakgos is under pressure. LYON, they find their fight when they need it. Berserker's already got the kill on the Gakgos. That's 4 dead on FlyQuest. I don't care if you find a pick, if you don't get anything. I care if you get something after. And LYON just won the game.
And now they're barreling down mid. What a great combo. The Yone, the Anivia walls laying down. We talked about how good Dhokla has been on this Anivia in team fights, and now LYON are looking to close out this game.
Yeah, Gryffin's just doing some slop right now, trying to waste some time, but it's not going to matter. Look, that's what it is, all right?
Slop. We're always slopping here.
You ult 1v5, that's all you can do. It don't matter none. Dhokla might go into the egg. Who cares? Massu revives, only to die once again. Ladies and gentlemen, LYON are going to take game 2, 29 minutes in. We are going to game number 3.
And I'm so happy because this series has been so fun to watch. The punches and the counter punches here, really nicely done in that mid lane fight.